Welcome to Love 52. I'm Paul. Hey, if this is your first time with us, I want to encourage you to check out our first 2 weeks. We had 2 videos up. There's Loving Week 1 and Loving Week 2. Pretty simple. This here's number 3. We've been talking about investing idea, love, in ourselves to start with. See, I think that if I can learn to authentically love me, then I have the capability to authentically love others. It won't be trying to fill a void by loving others. It won't be trying to get their attention or feel important. No, it'll be authentic if I learn to authentically love me. And so that's where we're starting. What have you been up to lately as far as investing idea, love in you? Did you make your PB&J, your peanut butter and jelly? Maybe you've decided to give yourself more time. Maybe you've taken a jog, gone for a walk. Maybe you've read a chapter or 2 in a book. You know, I don't know where you're at. Maybe the weather calls for a nice cold drink outside, or a hot tea or chocolate or a hot coffee. Whatever your taste buds like, and whatever the weather suggests. Yeah, maybe you've done that. Have you taken a bath? Have you done your nails? Have you worked in the garden or worked on a wood project at home? You know, we think these just sound like hobbies and interests. Some of them are even chores. Take jogging, for example. Sometimes we call it exercise, and exercise usually doesn't come with positive connotations. Exercise is kind of a chore. It's a to-do list, right? Well, I'm here today because I want to help you learn that we can change chores into loving. We can change hobbies into loving. You know, sometimes with hobbies, we just think we don't have time. We don't think we can make time. When we learn that these activities, these things we enjoy doing, can be love in action, we tend to find the time. I think it's innate that we just want to love ourselves and love. And so when we change the semantics, I'm going to help you do that today. It changes our motivation. So, what have you done? You know, last week I shared with you how ITEA came into existence. I was trying to study love and figure out, you know, better understanding, working on a better working definition. And I accidentally developed these 3 categories of psychological emotional needs, according to me, that we all have. So last week I gave you category 1, titled Understand, and that's where ITEA came into existence. That's where I learned that these 4 requirements that we need to receive, well, that's what love looks like. So today I'm going to tell you about category number 2. Before I go there, I want to remind you, and I'll remind you often, that you do not have to agree with me. I do not have to be right. So I encourage you to listen and just try and understand the concepts and the ideas, you know, get the formula, and then you can figure out what you like, what you don't like, agree with, whatever. But maybe just be open-minded to these ideas today so you can fully comprehend. So category number 2 does not have a title. If you're someone who needs, you know, maybe you're writing, taking notes, if you need to have a title, you'll see that there's a list of synonyms that we're going to go over and share. Pick any of them to be the title. Category number 2, which, by the way, this is like, when it comes to love, talking about love, this is one of my most enjoyable moments. Being able to share with you or with people how loving, those 4 ingredients, develops or creates category number 2, and then they gel. And it's a perfect match, and you'll see how they encourage each other, perpetuate each other. Category number 2, let me ask you, how does it make you feel when somebody gives you, genuinely, authentically, sincerely gives you interest, time, energy, and attention? When someone loves you, see, I think that you'd probably say you feel good, great, maybe, loved. And I agree with that. You know, we do, we feel that. But I think that's a small way of saying what we really are feeling. Chances are, if somebody genuinely, authentically, I mean, they give you interest, time, attention, and energy. They give it to you without any expectation of reciprocation. There's no manipulation, there's no hidden agenda. When they give it to you authentically, I bet you feel significant, valued, a sense of worth. You feel appreciated, accepted. You feel respected, wanted, needed. You feel like you're a priority in someone's life, right? The list goes on. We need to feel those things. That is category 2. We need to feel those. And, you know, if I asked you what it means to feel loved, well, I just gave you the answer. It means a combination of those things. When I feel loved, I feel important, significant, valuable. When I love myself and when others love me. This category, it's not the most important. They are all equally important. But this one is the one of which we tend to react to. See, I've decided, just my opinion, the world, my life is not very dichotomous. There's many gray areas. There's many options for things. Not everything is good or bad, right and wrong. Polar opposites, no, I think there's a lot of gray area. Except in this category, we tend to see it dichotomously. We either feel important or unimportant, significant or insignificant, accepted or not, appreciated or not, we feel special or not. We don't tend to say, I feel kind of important. I mean, that's not enough. This is not a therapy session. If you're in an unhealthy relationship and you decide to stay instead of be alone, you might say, I feel important enough. Well, I'd encourage you to talk to somebody about that, right? We either feel one or the other, important or unimportant. And when we feel unimportant, insignificant, unvaluable, no sense of worth, we don't feel we belong, people tend to not address the issue. People tend not to communicate with the other individuals and discuss this feeling of unimportance. No, people tend to do things like play games, shop, smoke, use substances, eat, use something of the sexual matter. You know, we tend to find just something to not make us, help us not feel unimportant, insignificant. We don't look for things typically to find ourselves feeling significant. We don't try and find the solution. You know, we just want a quick escape and not feel those uns and ins and the knots. If that makes sense to you, maybe you've done that before. This is the reason, like last week, we talked about not having a void. If I invest idea in me consistently, there's no void. If I do it consistently, I'm not dependent on others to make me feel important, significant, valuable, etc., etc. Look, do I want attention from people? Yes. Do I want people to give me their time? Obviously, I do. But those are wants. As long as I am consistently investing in me. If I'm not, I've got a void. And what are wants in my life become needs because I'm dependent on others. So that's why we are investing interest, time, energy into us. So how do we change? How do we change chores into love? How do we change hobbies into love? Well, if I was to ask you, why do I give myself ITEA? Why do I invest ITEA in me? Why do I invest ITEA into my wife, my children, parents? Why do I do that? You'd probably say, well, Paul, because you love yourself or because you love them. And you're right. You're right, I do. But I want to give you the bigger answer. When I am authentic, when I authentically give, interest, time, energy, and attention to me. It's authentic because I'm doing it because I am important, significant, valuable. I appreciate me. I need me, obviously. I am a priority in my life. I'm special to me. When I give myself interest, time, energy, and attention authentically, I'm doing it because I'm all of that. When I'm giving those 4 ingredients to someone else authentically, it's because they are important, significant, valuable, blah, blah, blah. If it's authentic, there's no expectation. I don't need a hug. If I'm loving someone authentically, I don't need a hug or a thank you or any of that stuff. I don't need any kind of reciprocation or response from them if it's authentic. If I'm loving me, there's no expectation that comes with me. I'm just investing. I mean, that's wise investing. Investing in someone who is important, significant, valuable, blah, blah, blah. It's that simple. Look, last week I was on my way home from the creek where I shot the video, and I was thinking to myself, how do I want to invest interest, time, energy, and attention in me today? I mean, I identified I am important to me, significant, all of that to me. So how do I want to invest? Idea. How do I want to love myself? So on my way home, I was thinking about all my options. Oh, there's a lot of options. So I got home, checked on the kids, and then I put on running shoes and shorts and a shirt to run in, my bandana. I was interested in me. I used my time and energy to go for a jog. And I paid attention, drank some water. I reminded myself I had not jogged in a couple weeks. So I encouraged myself to do some walking, do some interval jogging, a little jogging and walking, jogging and walking. Paying attention to me. I turned jogging, which could be a chore, into loving. I didn't do it begrudgingly. I didn't do it half-heartedly. No, I found the energy to do it. And you know what? I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I didn't get permission to say his name, so I won't. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday who was up on a hike with some family members. And he decided he wanted to get to the top. And the rest of them were waiting for him and letting him do the extra steps. And he started up the steep incline. And he wanted to get to the top. And he told me about halfway, you know, he looked up and he saw the top and it looked beautiful. He saw people up there. And he thought, oh, the people down below are my family and friends. They're waiting for me. But he said, I'm going to give this to me. He didn't say, I deserve to do this, which I'm so glad, because love's not deserved, it's given. He said, I'm going to do this for me. And he said, he thought about the 4 ingredients, and he said, I'm going to give myself interest, time, and attention. Couldn't remember the E, and that doesn't matter. Because this is kind of a funny thing, in my opinion. He kept going. And once he decided to make it for him, a way of loving him, energy, the one word he forgot, increased. That's what happens. When we change the semantics, we change the reason for why we do things, it gives us more energy. So he made it to the top, and he was probably tired because it was a long hike. But he wasn't just like excited to fulfill the challenge. No, he was so happy that he did it for him. He could take in the view. He could stand up there and take it all in. See, that's what happens when we love ourselves. Changes our attitude, changes our mood, changes how we see things. That's what this is about, Love 52. It's about loving more often. Every day I try and love. I look for opportunities because it impacts me. I don't do it because it impacts me, but I do it knowing that it will, because it does every time when it's authentic. Keep loving. We'll get together. Please subscribe so you can get the little short videos in the middle of the week, because I like to encourage I like to give examples of loving and just remind us to love. So please subscribe so you can get those little videos in the middle of the week. Keep following me. I've been enjoying Instagram. Mine is PBJ_love_52. PBJ_love_52. I've gotten to see some names and connect with some people who I haven't seen in a long time. And it's loving. We're doing it together. I'll see you soon. Take care and have a good day.